Blue Magic, that's a brand name. Like Pepsi, that's a brand name. I stand behind it, I guarantee it.
Just like I guarantee you're gonna love this comic, because Peter David, he's a brand name, especially when it comes to the Hulk. My name is Dorian, this is SCM Comics. We are covering the complete Joe Fixit series with Joe Fixit number 4. And speaking of American gangsters, we got a bunch of them having a meeting right now. You see what I did there? So the Kingpin is having a meeting with the other casino owners, and he's letting them know about the Magi, I believe that's how you pronounce it, that is coming to take over Vegas. So he's telling these casino owners that Michael Burngatti stepped aside and left him in charge of the Coliseum, and obviously they're not buying it. So he's letting them know how he has outside muscle coming in to Vegas to help protect the other casino owners as long as they pay their protection fee. And the other casino owners are just thinking that Kingpin's moving in on a racket, which he is, but he's also not lying. So the Magi want to clap the Kingpin's cheeks. And whoever Joe Fixit took care of before the comic book began that Michael Burngatti was talking about, I guess that pissed off the Magi so much that they brought in some real heavy hitters. And their work is rated E for everyone. Out of nowhere, there's this big ass boom. And everybody's like, what the hell was that? And one of the casino owners like, sounds like somebody dropped a 2-ton anvil. So on the next page, Spider-Man's like, I heard that sound and I thought somebody was bombing the strip. I come and look and there's a big ass crater in the ground, so I guess I was right. No, we see this big gray hand come out of the crater, and Spider-Man goes, yeah, it figures. So as he's pulling himself out of the crater, Joe Fixit is now talking to himself out loud, and he's like, you satisfied, Banner? You could have gotten us both killed. Why don't you just go cower in the corner of our subconscious and keep your opinions to yourself? So Spider-Man comes down and he's like, Joe, how's it hanging? And he just growls at him. And Spider-Man's like, oh great, here we go again. But then it cuts to the Coliseum and all you hear is doom, 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 doom. And you see it's Rhino and he's like, hello Vegas, Rhino's here and I'm feeling luck. And as soon as he went to say lucky, all of a sudden he's getting electrocuted by Electro. So then Electro's like, I kind of figured Sue want to protect you from electric shock. Real subtle, Alexi. And then Rhino's like, Dylan, undercover? And he's like, why don't you got in your costume? And Electro's like, dude, every time I put in that costume, Spider-Man appears. Guaranteed. And Rhino's like, but we're in Vegas. And he's in New York. Electro's like, doesn't matter. So Joe is fighting Spider-Man again, and Spider-Man's like, Bruce, need to step out of it. And Joe Fixit's like, quit calling me Bruce. And then Bruce Banner's in his head and it's like, you need to stop it, Hulk. And Joe's like, it's not Hulk, my name is Joe Fixit. And Bruce Banner's like, oh, that's cute, you gave yourself a name. And all of a sudden Joe just screams, shut up. And then Spider-Man's like, geez, it's like fighting Black Bolt. Who knew his lungs were so strong? I'm just thinking to myself, like, why wouldn't they be? Everything's strong on the Hulk or Joe Fixit. So while Spider-Man's recovering from that scream, Joe uses the opportunity to grab him. And Spider-Man's like, oh crap, this is it. This is how I'm gonna die. And then on the next page, we cut to the Magi. Now, Count Nefaria is a hoss in itself, and we'll get into him in a minute. But you can tell this comic book takes place back in the day because 2 of these dudes that's on this page are dead as hell. Now, if you read comic books for long enough, you know that death in comics doesn't mean anything. Hell, Count Nefaria has died a few times and came back. But one of these dudes recently got clipped, and another one has been clipped for a long time. So Count Nefaria is talking to Hydro Man, Whiplash, and the Masked Marauder. Now, the Masked Marauder is still alive, to my knowledge. But Hydro Man just got clipped last year in Carnage. And Whiplash been dead since the early 2000s. He was done in I think Iron Man Volume 3. Anyway, they're discussing the situation and they're asking, is Joe Fixit going to be a problem? And Count Nefaria is like, well, he took out the people that we sent the first time to try to take over these casinos. So this time we need to show more force. Now, he's going to be the force because Count Nefaria is an experiment where they took the powers of Power Man, that's Luke Cage, the Living Laser, and Whirlwind, and combined them into one person. So like I said, this dude is a hoss. So anyway, they get their marching orders, and Hydro Man and the Master Marauder are talking about the buffet that they want to hit up downstairs, and Count Nefarious like, this is the best help we could find. So on the next page, we have Electro and Rhino stand next to the Kingpin, and the Kingpin's like, this is the protection squad that I was telling you guys about. And now the casino owners are like, this is blackmail. And the Kingpin's like, no, this is business. Now, gentlemen, I need you guys to sign this contract. Now, you don't have to sign this contract, but if you choose to leave here in one piece, I suggest you sign the contract. So on the next page, you got Joe walking in with Spider-Man, and he's like, I got a special delivery for you, boss. And then the casino owners are looking at this, so you know what's going through their head.
Oh, you want something too, old man? Huh? No.
They just start signing the contracts as fast as they can because they don't want nothing to do with Joe, especially if he just handles Spider-Man. So as soon as Joe drops him, Kingpin's like, unmax him. And Electro's like, with pleasure. So then Electro takes off his mask and he's like, what? And Spider-Man has his whole head painted like his spider suit. And he's like, you like it? Oh yeah, by the way, my hands, they're not bound. And he punches the hell out of Electro. Hits him so hard that he hits him into Rhino. So the Michael Burr and Getty walks in and he goes, that's a nice paint job. You go see Natalie over there on Charleston Boulevard. And Spider-Man's like, yeah, I went to my civvies and she just thought I was into cosplay. So then Kingpin's like, Burr and Getty, what are you doing here? Fix it, do something. So then Joe's like, sure thing. And he takes off Burr and Getty's coat and he goes, thanks, Joe. And he's like, no problem. And then he goes, Wilson, get from behind my desk. So then Kingpin's like, as you wish. And Randall's like, no. He's getting all pissed. And then Kingpin's like, calm down. Things have clearly changed. So then Kingpin's like, obviously my influence has wore off. Your mind's a lot stronger than I thought it was. And then he walks over to try to give him another dose. So we see Joe breathe it in, and then Kingpin goes, fix it, kill him. And all of a sudden we see Joe grab Kingpin's arm and just flips his ass over. So then Joe goes, I don't think so. And Kingpin's like, how? And then Spider-Man's like, nose filters provided by a scientist who actually bought my tough guy act. So then Joe picks up Kingpin over his head like he's Brock Lesnar. And he goes, remember what I did to you the other day? I was just getting warmed up. And then Kingpin yells, Rhino, now. And Rhino's like, it's about time. And then Rhino gores the hell out of Joe. And the Kingpin's like, watch it. So they go through a wall into the casino. Electro's starting to get up. Spider-Man goes to Burn Getty's like, look, I need a lighter right now. Electro finally realizes where Spider-Man's at and he's just getting all charged up. Michael Burn Getty throws his lighter. Spider-Man gets out of the way of the blast. So Spider-Man jumps to the ceiling and he's under one of the sprinkler system and he puts the lighter underneath it. Electro goes, oh no you don't. But it's too late and the water starts coming down and Electro's pretty much electrocuting himself. So then Rhino's like, you didn't think I didn't recognize you, Hulk? At least somebody has besides Spider-Man. And then Joe punches Rhino and he's like, I don't care what you think. I just want you to get the hell out of here. So Kingpin uses the distraction and he starts putting his paws all over Joe Fixit. To his credit, he's like, look, you have no idea how much strength I wield. And he starts putting it on Joe. Then he turns around and it's Count Nefarious and his crew. Count Nefarious is like, are you bulletproof? And I'm just thinking to myself, Joe, definitely. Rhino, maybe. Everybody else, not in the slightest. Can't wait till this last episode comes out.